When you do nothing, nothing happens. The best time to take action is now. This is the time to work on you and your business. So I've created a group, an online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen. See you in Power Partners.
My body becomes like a cement. Oh my God.
That was the better one.
Okay. Oh my God. It's like magic. Literally, it's like magic.
We are back. We're back.
How are you doing, Miss Beckley?
I haven't seen you in months.
I feel like yes.
We've been gone for a while. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks? Almost a month?
It has been 3 weeks, yes. You know, but sometimes you just need that time away.
Yeah.
And we love technology that even though we were away, we were still here.
Yeah. That's the art of technology, right?
The art of technology. And you know my saying, we love it when it works and we love it when it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been saying that a lot lately.
To
make sure it doesn't
You and me both. You and me both just have had some technical challenge with my computer, with my car. You know, you just kind of have one of those days.
Yeah.
Weekends for me. I had no computer and no car. And I went, okay, because the brakes went out in my car.
Oh, wow.
I guess the master cylinder went. And then it took forever to bleed the lines. I don't know anything about it, but that's what they told me. But so now it's all working perfectly. And then my computer went down. And I was like, well, obviously, I'm just having a weekend off.
Yeah. When it happens like that, Barbara, that tells you, okay.
And so let's just have fun. Let's just do some fun things. So how has your days been?
You know, it's been very teachable moments. Let me say that.
Don't you love those
moments? But through it all, as I always say, I always take everything good, bad. Well, I had to say good, challenges and teachable moments. I want to say it like that because when I say bad and ugly, it's not really bad and ugly because you're still learning and growing. So through the 3 weeks that we've been off, Barbara, it's been kind of like this.
Yeah.
And I had to keep stopping in the midst of all that and said, okay, whoosha moment. I do my whoosha moment.
Breathe.
Whoosha.
Wow.
And then sometimes I had to count down more than 20. Like you said, they count to 10. I'm like, well, I had to count to 100 sometimes. But with all that, I learned a lot about me being more, not so much of, how we always say, don't be reactive. what does
Right.
it do?
Respond, not react.
Yeah, not react. And I was doing a lot of that. I felt like I was even being challenged to make sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's exactly the point, that we're all learning and growing and doing things, and so that's one of the things. So let's chat for a minute, because I love doing the fun calendar thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, every once in a while, I just look at other things, and well, now the national calendar has now created a new day.
Oh boy.
but I am so excited, because it is going to be every year on May 4th. So we've missed it already this year.
Oh, okay.
However, but they just created it this year, and
Okay.
it is going to be National Self-Employed Day. We do. There are some major perks. I mean, we get complete control over our destiny. We get to choose our work environment. We get to grow our knowledge and fine tune our skill sets and all those fun things.
Oh yeah. Woo-hoo.
However, we're also totally responsible. And when people are just starting, I know when I was just starting, I did everything.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You do everything.
Mm-hmm.
You are the chief cook and bottle washer. You are the graphic designer. You are the social media manager. You are everything, the bookkeeper, all of that. So I just am so excited about the fact that we now have a day. So now we're going to be able to go do some fun things with that next year. But anyways, so I have to share with you, how do you like my new background?
I'm loving it. Is that like the playroom?
This is now the eventual office of Wellness Playroom.
Well, I want to sit in there and just relax and probably go to sleep.
Because one of the things that I teach in Wellness Playroom is that cast a vision. What is your vision for your life? 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's your big vision? Because it says in the Bible, and we're both women of faith, and so it's like write the vision, make it plain, so that anybody walking by can see.
Yes.
Write your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can have so this is part of my vision. This is going to be my eventual office, that I'm going to be able to walk out of my office onto my deck, onto the beach, and look at the mountains.
That's why I was like, oh, if I had an office like that, I'd be kind of concerned with me making sure I get some things done, because I've been looking at that. I'd be like, oh,
yeah.
So nice.
And so I saw this, and I can't even tell you where I saw it. It was God's gift to me, and I went, oh,
that's beautiful.
There's my office. That's my office. Because one of my things is that I want to spend 2 months at the beach, 2 months in the mountains, and 2 months at the desert. Well, I'm going to have it all in one place.
I see.
Yeah. So anyways,
Wow. But yeah, I just want to also say too, well, through the 3 weeks we were off, it showed me too that, like you said, Barbara, earlier, that you need to take that break, like maybe a mental break, physical break, whatever break it is. And I feel like everybody that, and I'm just going to put it out there, everybody that has like a podcast or a show or everything, set yourself up, like you said, Barbara, that you're still going on, even though you need to take that break. Right. It's summertime, and even if it's something that you want to do something different, or even you just need to get away or what have you, or get away within your household. Some people think of it, take a stay vacation.
Well, that's kind of what I did. I stayed at home, and couldn't go anywhere. I had no car. It was kind of a forced staycation. However, it was so fun, because you get things done.
Yeah.
Or you deal with things.
Mm-hmm. Or you just relax.
Or you just relax.
Because sometimes we always feel like we have to get something done. I mean, I think that's in our heads because we work and we have our own business. And I mean, I think we're just driven that way. But a lot of times it's just like, okay, can I just sit back and do Netflix all day or something? And don't feel guilty about it. And don't beat yourself up and say at the end of the day, hey, I was supposed to get all those prizes. And I'm sitting here looking at what reality shows all day or whatever.
You know, that
do it if you want to.
Do it, because that comes under self-care is not, we talk about it all the time, but it, but it really bears witness and bears repeating. Self-care is not selfish.
Nope.
Because you cannot possibly give to anyone else if your cup is empty. If your cup is empty, you have nothing to give. So really, but it doesn't, and the thing is, it doesn't have to be work. It can be something that will just be, it could eventually be work, but for right now, it's just kind of a fun thing. Like right now, one of my things, I'm going to tell on myself, Barbara Beckley has been asking me for months for pictures. I am not a big picture taker. So consequently, I have not had pictures to give her. Well, guess what I have found? You know me, and I love the AI.
What happened? What did you do?
You can now get an AI generated photo shoot.
Oh my God. You know, I know AI. I've been using AI. You know. Yeah. Oh my God. Now we got the photo shoot.
An AI photo shoot. Last Friday was on another call. A friend of mine said, "Oh, I want to show you what my virtual assistant made for me." You should see it.
Wow.
It is amazing. So guess what you're going to be getting is, so I, of course, sent a message to my VA team because, and now because I've grown enough that I have a VA team, so you don't have to do it all.
Yeah.
And so I sent a note to my VA team and said, can you do an AI generated photo shoot? And she came right back and said, well, yeah.
Like she was almost like, come on, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, this comes all the way back to you don't know what you don't know until someone else tells you something that you don't know. So that's one of my things with my clients. Be open to anything. Take what you want out of everything that people tells you. Pick the things that you want and pick the things that are going to be useful for you. And so now this is like, I am so excited. I'm going to have a virtual photo shoot. All she's going to do is take my picture and put it into all sorts of things.
Okay, this is now, when you put out stuff like that, I'm going to have some questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with the AI photo shoot, quote unquote, how do they take, is it like pictures that you have and they kind of spoof it up, or you have to take pictures like on Zoom and then they take that and they put it together some kind of way, or I'm just thinking, because I'm like, how are they going to get new pictures of you?
Well, my girlfriend sent one picture. The whole photo shoot is one picture.
Oh, it's one picture. Okay.
So they took her face and put it on. You wouldn't believe, she must have had 20 pictures. One picture. One facial. I can't talk. Facial picture of her. And I noticed it. I said, Sandy, that's your picture that you have on your headshot. She said, yeah. I can't wait to see it. So I have a meeting with my VA team tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I want to hear this, because now with her picture, did they like change outfits on her?
Oh, put her close up, put her full pictures, put her in outfits, put her in different scenarios. the thing is, one of the things, so now we are absolutely going to have to be careful that don't believe everything out there, because I mean, they had her, I think, by the Eiffel Tower. I wasn't somewhere in here. So, so don't believe the pictures. But you know what? They looked, so the ones that were just creative, they looked so real, and things that Sandy would actually do. And I think that was the thing, is you can tell them that this is something that I would actually do.
Yeah, because like you just said,
so
there in Paris, and good what
and do darn well. I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been to England and I've been to Denmark and Sweden, but I've never been to France. And so it was like, but I could see myself being in a beach scene because I go to the beach.
Yeah.
So why
you got to tell them, I mean, you got to be personality of yourself,
right. And be respectful of that. Heaven forbid, you're not going to see me on a surfboard. So, but I'm excited. It's
now if I see you now one thing that they could put you on, which I have seen you on, is a motorcycle.
Oh yeah, I have a well. That's the picture That's the picture I'm gonna send them. Is the one of me on the motorcycle.
That is so cool. Every time I see that picture, Barbara, that is just so cool. I was like, look at Barbara, Miss Hot Mama on a
Hot Mama with my leather vest.
I mean, you was all you had the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, the whole and that was such a beautiful day for a ride. In fact, we're going to be going on another one. We want to do another charity ride. But cool. So so have fun and play with things in your life. So, but one other thing, can I share one other thing and then it's your turn. I'm taking up all the show today.
Oh yeah, we're flowing.
But this comes under the heading of self-care, but knowledge, because you don't know what you don't know until someone else tells you something that you don't know. So if you are over the age of 65, and if you are on Medicare or some government, you have a supplemental insurance. Well, a month or so ago, a friend of mine, I did one of our meetup groups, and she came and she said, "Oh, I've just come from the Y." And I said, "Oh, I wish I could join the Y." I said, "But I'm outside of their service area, so I would have to pay out of residence up the yin yang to join the Y." She says, "Well, I don't pay for the Y." She says, "I'm part of a program called Silver Sneakers." And I said, "Well, what's Silver Sneakers?" She said, "It's for anybody over 65 that if they on their supplemental insurance." Well, guess what I did? I called my insurance gal and said, "Look, does my insurance cover Silver Sneakers?" She said, "Well, let me look." She came back and she said, "Gee, Barb, no." I went, "Oh." She said, "But let me look and see if I can get you something else." She's a good insurance gal. I've known her for years. Well, she comes back to me and she says, "Well, guess what, Barb? We're going to change companies. It's costing me almost $40 less a month for my supplemental insurance. Plus I get senior sneakers." So Sunday, I went on my way home from church. I stopped in at the Y, and she said, "Oh yeah, here." And I've got my official card. I'm going this afternoon.
Look at that. See, all because you had a conversation with somebody about it. And look what it changed your whole,
So those are the things. Be open to what you don't know. The 4 worst words in any language is "I already know that."
Oh, Barbara, every time I hear that, I just want to just scream from the top of my lungs. I really do. I'm like,
I want to scream when somebody says that.
Right. See, because as soon as they say that, Barbara, they shut themselves down for learning. They shut themselves down for, getting what you got and we all get. Yeah.
Yeah. And they shut themselves down to not only that little piece of information, but when you tell like our thoughts are real. So when we tell ourselves that we already know that, well, guess what? It thinks it already knows that about other stuff too. Because our mind is our absolutely so incredibly intuitive. And, God made us that way. So don't tell your brain ever that you already know that.
No. Yeah, and I always say too, Barbara, even if the subject is something that you've been doing forever, like, okay, I'm going to use an example. I've been in the insurance world. That's my day job. Because some people are like, well, I thought you do shows. I said, yes, that's my business and stuff. But my entrepreneur business. But during the day, I have a corporate job.
Right.
And I worked in the insurance industry for over 38 years.
Wow.
So, okay, you hear that, you'd be like, wow, you've been doing this for a while. What you've been born like what, when it was just dirt on the ground? Some people do tell me that.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
The youngies, I call them the young ones. But if I still saying all those years of experience and what I've done, I never say I know that already. No. I always ask the questions as I want to know more, or I want to know more of what that was. I mean, I know this, but I don't know that, or I don't know how you feel about it. Give me, because I've learned from the youngies. I call them the youngies.
Yes,
the young ones. They tell me something. I was like, really? And I'm like this, Barbara. Like, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute. Let me get my paper. And they're like, well, Barbara, you've been doing it for a while. I said, no. I'm always learning and growing. So never shut yourself down. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I think that's one of the biggest things. It's like with me, I've been working on my branding stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And in fact, this week I'll give him a plug, Rich Brands. He's having a half-day workshop this weekend, and that's how I got started with it. Of just the 7 things that you need to have a really successful brand. Well, I am so excited to say that I have completed 5 of the 7 steps for my brand and Wellness Playroom, because I want people to be the best version of you. That's my tagline. Well, now he is just expanding on that and how that is going to play out to help other people become the best version of them.
Yes. Yeah.
And but if nobody knows about you, so if you need something for branding, reach out to me. Yeah, he's having a special half day this weekend. This on Thursday.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh wow, I'm so excited. It just So
well,
then
I mean, before we bring our queen up, Nina Davis, we have our wonderful special guest coming on.
She's a sweetie.
I always tell people, if people, like you just said, Barbara, if you have all this gift in you, you have all this knowledge in what you do and you're proud of it and you want to help people, but then nobody don't know who you are, or you're not around, or they don't know what you do, or they're not clear and concise of what you do. That's a whole nother show.
That's really a whole nother story.
It's a whole nother story. But with all that, like you said, Barbara, you turned around, you said, okay, you know what? I have my brand and I want to make sure that people understand it, because that goes back to your purpose. And I feel like if people don't work on that, because it's always, there's stepping stones to all that. Then I ask a person all the time, I said, okay, if you're confused about your brand, or you're not putting it out there, you're not putting yourself out there, or whatever the case may be, then maybe you need to ask yourself the question, is this really the purpose that you should be doing? Because you shouldn't be struggling and pulling and saying, I don't know. No, when I know, I have no problem shouting it out to the world.
Right.
And when happens, that means you are on point. You have been talking about this, Barbara, your brand, or what you want to do, make happiness the norm and not the abnorm, for a long time, to the point where I even know the brand and I'm not even part of the brand.
But you
That's when you know you know your brand. That's when you know when other people are singing your brand, then you know you're on top of it. So I have to just commend you for that, because that's what I always tell everybody else, and you have been doing a tremendous job at it. So,
well, thank you. I received that. Thank you. It's a process and it's a journey.
Yeah, it was a fun journey, because I've been learning from you.
And it's been a fun journey. Yeah, I have met wonderful people like Nina. I can't wait to bring her on. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So let's bring the queen on, Queen Nina. And but before we bring on the queen, we want to make sure. Oh, before we bring on the queen, just give us a little tad. I know she's gonna tell us about herself, but I know you met her because you always meet the wonderful people. So
yeah, we met on LinkedIn, and just she's all about one of the things that I just absolutely loved was like on her she works with profits and nonprofits and that kind of stuff. But one of the things that I love that she said was that change enhances people.
Ooh. All right, see, this is going to be a good talk.
This is going to be a great conversation, because if we're not willing to change, we don't, my tagline is grow to be, to be the best version of you. Well, if we're not willing to change, how can we possibly grow into the best version of who we are? We need to change. So we need people that'll help us to do that.
Yeah.
And it might, and it might be you, it might be me, it might be Nina, it might be somebody else. You don't know, but you find the one that resonates with you.
Yeah.
And then you just take you to the next level.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the next level with Ms. Nina, but we have to do our sponsor real quick.
Yes.
Be right back.
Raise your hand if you've ever been busy. Raise your hand if you've ever got tired and feel like you just need a couple days off. Most people would have both hands up right now. That's our world, fast-paced and income-driven. That's why we get caught up in our own lives so often, and that's why it's understandable when most people don't focus on worries that aren't their own. So what makes someone become a humanitarian? Someone whose whole life focuses on the welfare of other humans.
When you go back and you see kids that were living on the streets, kids had no structure, they had no routine, people who had nothing, they didn't have meals. When you see that all of a sudden they're waking up, they have structure, they have something to do, they have a meal in their belly, their life changes completely. They, like I said, their self-esteem changes, their self-worth, their ability to know who they are in the world and what they have the potential of becoming, to give that hope, to give that dream, and then to watch people actually use that to do good for themselves and others it's amazing. It becomes an addiction.
And with Serena's help, we'll find the meaning of life to a humanitarian.
Yay! The magic of technology. We have the Queen Nina Davis here. One life to live. When I seen that, I was thinking about the soap opera.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Thank you, Nina, for bringing me back.
My pleasure. My mom used to always make me watch all of her telenovelas and soap operas growing up. And I am not a fan, but it was one of those things where no matter what, now when I see The Young and Restless, I remember the characters she had and now who they look like. And I'm like, that's not the same. So just bringing a little nostalgia back.
You brought a lot back. Thank you, Queen.
I like that.
Yeah.
You got it.
Nice to meet you. I know Barbara knows you, but I'm glad that you came to the show already. I'm getting all psyched about what you do for people in the world, your lighthouse of the world, and what you do in your own genius. So I always like to say, Barbara knows this, I like to get a little backstory before we start into whatever topic. So what made you be such a queen, what you're doing right now?
Well, thank you so much for considering me a queen. That's awesome. I love it. What made me be kind of where I am today is just exactly what you guys were saying. I've always been considered a change agent. I started in HR and just had the pleasure of just kind of growing my career within that and got really good at it. But that wasn't necessarily my heart purpose. And then the market crashed in 2009, and I decided I'm going to go into real estate and kind of dibble in that a little bit. And my goal was really to offer affordable housing for individuals. And I learned that being the best landlord, so to speak, really meant that I had to focus on people. So went from HR focusing on people, still kept the HR facet, went into real estate focusing on people, still focusing on focusing just on people and taking care of them. And then I kind of decided I really wanted to bridge the gap for a lot of those that were entering into that job readiness stage, right? Not necessarily just being college graduates, but more so being just ready and prepared for any, like, as you guys are saying, opportunities, being open to opportunities that came their way. So that's kind of my line there. But the red thread across each three of those areas is always been getting people ready to achieve their next step, or helping bridge that gap along the way. So that's kind of in a nutshell me, but I still focus on all three of those. I'm still an HR expert. I am still in real estate, getting ready to close on a house, hopefully this week. And then I am also still working in that area of job readiness program of bridging the gap for individuals through my PIE ultimately. So PIE stands for performance, image, and exposure, and really getting people to wrap their head around, you need the whole pie, not just a piece of the pie, to get you ready for the next step.
Right. Yeah. That's what with me, the three things that I focus on is like, and it seems like, because we have parts of life. We have our mental wellness, our mental, emotional, spiritual wellness. We have our physical wellness, and we also need to have financial wellness.
Yes.
And so when you can focus on the three things that people need in life, then you've got a great business. And it's just, and when you can see the light bulb go on when they get it.
Yes.
Love it. Like
it's like you can literally see it in people's face, in their eyes, in their countenance. They get it, that, this will work.
Yes. I love those.
I didn't know that. And I didn't know that. Yeah, I mean, if I got my face expressions tell it all. Tell it.
Yeah, then you and me both.
When somebody gives me something that is like, I'd be like, and they're like, okay, I think you got it, Barbara. We cannot question that was an eye opener for you.
That instant download.
It's amazing. And I love, Nina, how you, through everything you do, the three, I call them the three pillars that you do, that it's always about making sure dealing with and understanding people. Right. And that's what you do. And that's what it's about, And I love about the pie. You don't take a piece of pie, you need the whole pie. Well, I would say that, well, eating for me, whole pie can't do that, but I know what you're talking about far as the whole pie in life and what you do with people. But I love how you said about the imaging and understanding everything. That is amazing. I love that concept. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think that goes back to what we were talking about too, is that reach out to the people that know. So if this is resonating with you right now, I'm talking to you guys, our audience. Thank you for being here. Didn't say that at the beginning, but you know what? Reach out to people. That's what is the beauty of having a show like this. This is why one of the reasons that Barb and I started the show is because we want to be able to give people options. Because you don't know what you don't know until somebody else tells you something you don't know. So if we can bring on people that can give you, I love that, one life to live, because that's a soap opera. Absolutely. However, it's a true statement. We only have one life and we have to live it. And we're the ones that are living it, not somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think, don't you find, Nina, that so often people are trying to live their life through somebody else's eyes?
Far too often. And I think that's where that challenge comes in, right? Is you see yourself in competition with, well, okay, Barbara's doing this, but then, Barbara Beckley's doing this. And all of a sudden we have to figure out, well, I'm behind. Now I'm not where I should be in life. And there is no should be, right? It's your life. You should only be in competition with yourself. But that's where that pie part comes in, is it's a whole piece of you, right? You just showing up to do the job, or you just graduating, or maybe you're in a career transition and you're like, well, I have all the skills. And what made me think about that is looking at people's resumes, where I can tell, maybe you went and got it done by a resume person, and that's fine. That's one piece of the component that gets you in the door. But then they get in front and they're doing the interviews, and it's a lot of, you know what I mean? Or Now I'm having to put, you went from point A to point Z, and I'm trying to figure out what the letters I'm missing in between to get the whole story in between of it. And then the last part of it is who you're connected with. Everybody always talks about your network is your net worth, right? And sometimes when you are only associating yourself with people who have the same thought process as you, going back to what you ladies are saying, you don't know what you don't know. If I surround myself with everybody who has the same thoughts as me, or same thing with social media, if I'm only following people who have the same thoughts as me, I'm probably missing a huge piece of that pie, which with that comes opportunities, comes growth, comes enhancing yourself automatically just by knowing and being able to associate with people. So it's interesting.
Yeah, right. For me, it's the collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaborate with people that are in different industries.
Yes.
Because you never know what one little thing will change over. Like you talk about that you're a change agent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one little thing that you might be doing here in this company, ooh, that would work for me. Mm-hmm. And the people in your industry aren't doing it yet. Mm-hmm. So now you have become the sole. Oh, that's what, they do. Like one of the things that my coach talks about, that your unique selling proposition. What makes you unique? Well, if you take something from somebody else's industry that but tweak it to put it into what you do, well, then you're unique.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. It's funny you said that, because I was thinking about, Anina, when you were talking about how people feel like, oh, I'm not right where I'm supposed to be, or I need to be here, or oh no, this and that. And sometimes it's like people start, or you see things, or people will even say stuff to you. Well, Barbara, you should be already here yet. I thought what's taking you so long? You've been doing this, but all that. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh no. Then you're sitting there in the corner like, oh shoot. Then you're trying to grab something like, they said I wasn't here. I need to do, she's doing it. Oh yeah, they're right. They're doing. And it's like you drive yourself crazy, and you got to go back and say to yourself, but that's them and I'm me, and I'm working things. You don't know behind closed doors what's going on with people and how they're working their purpose, how they're working their business, how they're working their drive and what they do. So I hate when people start saying, well, Nina, you're supposed to be here. Why are you taking you so long? And I'm like, I want to say so bad, excuse you. You're in your lane. You do you, and I'll do me.
Exactly. Minding your own business is free.
Yeah. But one of the things that I have found myself doing so much lately to combat that, because that is, we always beat ourselves up for the things that we're not, rather than celebrating the things that we are. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I just keep saying now, when I think, I'm not where I'm supposed to be, it's for such a time as this. I'm going back to the book of Esther. It's for such a time as this that I am here now, doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
And so it's for such a time as this. Mind you, some days I have to say that 100 times. Because there are some days where you just is like, why isn't this going? Why is this so hard? Why are we doing this? But then we have to realize that those are the Sabbath. One of the things I work with is the saboteurs. They're those voices in your head saying you're not enough.
Yes.
You're not doing enough. Why aren't you doing this? Well, get off.
Exactly. I like you ladies said it earlier that self-care does not equal being selfish. And I think that goes with that part there. Absolutely. Is when you're sitting and you're thinking where you should be and what has gone by you, and maybe even looking back at some regrets that maybe opportunities you felt you should have taken or whatever it is, you kind of have to have that moment of just like, you say respond versus react, but then also reset. Just reset yourself for a second. I can't remember which lady said it, but you were saying, sometimes you start your day or it goes wrong and you're like, oh, I'm going to kind of tap out on this day. I literally just did that the other day. I woke up, I felt like I'm always the person that says everything just goes in my favor. Everything happens for a reason. I'll go with the flow, so to speak, but I can actively work towards things. And I can't remember what happened the other day, but it was like one thing after the other. And I was like, you know what? this is the part about being self-employed that's fun. I said, I'm going to just go back to sleep. I took an hour nap. I woke back up and I was like, this is a new day. I am not bringing that energy into this new day. Just reset.
Exactly. Just reset your day. So, what's something that you are really excited about right now? This one of the things that I have realized that I want to know about people. What are they excited about?
Absolutely.
I mean, you can see what we're excited about. I've told you what I'm excited about. So what are you excited about?
I'm really excited to partner. So I'm currently in Michigan, but I used to live in DC quite some time ago. And I'm really excited of partnering with some of the nonprofits that are out in the DC area that specifically work with job readiness programs. So I kind of went back and forth, and I'm sure as you ladies have done a lot of research. And at one point, I thought I wanted to open a 401k. And then I started researching all the 401ks that are already in existence. And I said, well, that wouldn't be the smartest move for me to do, because that's a lot of work for something that's already happening in that market. And so right now, what really excites me is partnered with 3 different 401ks, and they have grants coming in that are helping them to create a program that I will be able to help facilitate, either by putting together content or literally delivering that to them. So that's where I take that pie part and put it into actual momentum. It's not just one-on-one, it's kind of in a classroom. So I'm really excited about that.
Congratulations, Queen. That is huge. That just shows you what we were talking about, Barbara, about how we come together with others and you don't know what will be put together and just blow up in a wonderful way. Yeah. And look what happened. I mean, it took you and the other organizations to get together, and now look what you're doing, something that you love. You're helping out even more people. Yes, amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Barbara Beckley works with nonprofits all the time too. So you went, that cheap.
Well, yeah, I got a show that I like to spotlight nonprofits. So we need see again the connection.
It's always happening.
Yeah, and sometimes it goes back to, sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know.
Very true.
And one of my, Barbara's heard me say this, you can't do life on your own.
No.
So let's find the people to do life with.
Yeah. And the fun people.
Now look at this connection. Look at this connection, because we're having a conversation. We just, and that's the thing. We're having a conversation. We just happen to be doing it on E360 TV and, putting it out to the world
live where other people are watching. Yeah, that's fine.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That we're all we're all doing life together. So let's share the wealth. There is absolutely no competition. To me, I refuse to be in competition, because there is 7 billion people on this planet. There is enough for all of us, and all have a different voice.
Yeah. And the book says so, right? At the end of the day, it's all about abundance. And so when you're connecting with people, I mean, I'm sure you ladies have felt it. There's sometimes where you're connecting with people and maybe you have somewhat similar things that you're doing, and you kind of see it in people where they're like, okay, well, you stand way over there and I'll stand way over here, so no one gets us confused. And there's an abundance. We're stronger together than we are apart. And the part that you really brought up there is thinking about that whole spirit of excellence part of it. When we sit and we say what's for us is for us, and I'd rather connect with people and see where that goes than to say, oh, well, we're too similar or we're too far apart, so I don't want to associate with what you're working on.
Right.
We lost it.
We've missed that little inner piece. Because we are all connected, whether we think we are or not. We're all connected. And just, I'm going to share one of the things that I do. Have you guys ever heard of the Schumann resonance? No. It's an app. I give it a plug. It's an app in the App Store, and it's called the Schumann resonance. It is the resonance of the planet, of our planet. So there's a resonance that it beats. It's like the heartbeat of the earth. And so they have created this app that has the megahertz of the pulse of the earth, and you can put music to it. So when I want to get really in touch with Mother Earth, to really get in touch with me because we're all part of the same resonance. We all have energy. We're all, whether we believe it or not, it's like kind of like gravity. You might not believe in gravity, but if you walk off a building, you're going to drop. You know.
Disclaimer: don't do that.
Don't do that. But resonance is the same way. And so now when I am feeling that, you know, that like, okay, let's backtrack, sit down. I put my headphones on and I turn on my Schumann resonance. And for 5 minutes, it just gets me back into the energy of peace.
And peace, yeah.
Of just breathing.
Yes.
With your next breath. You can breathe. And so when I'm breathing, then I'm feeling the pulse of the earth. Because we are all on this earth together.
We are.
Well,
I like that. I like that that's your kind of decompressant, because as you're saying that, I think about, you know, we all wear stress differently.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that I'm not like an outwardly stressed out person.
No,
You'll never know I'm stressed out until, so my eye starts twitching is usually when I know I'm like to my limit of stress, my eye will just start twitching and I'm like, oh, let me do something, get myself together. And music is always my outlet, but it's not necessarily my like de-stressor.
Right.
So I will go and find like any park or any woodland kind of, you know, earthy area that hasn't been compromised in a parking lot or something. And I'll just sit in it and put my feet in there in the grass and feel the grass between your toes and feel all those little things. But your connection to Mother Earth as humans it's innate in us, right?
Yeah.
So I always find it weird when people are like, I don't really like outdoors or anything. And it's like, but that's where we come from. We come from nature. So a part of you, when I need to reset or decompress, my eye starts twitching. I just have to find a park and take that moment to just woosah.
Right.
Woosah.
Right. Yeah. Barbara and I have done that on the show. It's like, okay, that's
yeah, I be doing a lot of that. It depends on the level.
Yes.
But I feel, I want to say real quickly, Queen Nina, you said, I don't know why people, nature, we're part of this and everything. And just the other day on another show I was on, I feel bad now. One of the person I was talking to, we were co-hosting, and she's about to go camping with her family, and she likes doing it every year. They go to this 2-week and they go to camp and they do all the outdoor stuff with the tent and everything. And I'm looking at her and she's like, Barbara, maybe one day we can get together and you come with us. I was like, she's like, what? And I said, I'm not really an outdoorsy type of person. And she's like, I said, do they have like a hotel around here? I can just go to a hotel and then come when you have food or something. I go back. And she's like, what? She's like, you're messing up the whole experience. And she was talking about you get to see the wonderful mountains. This, I said, yeah. And then you see the bugs, and then you see and and then their bite is hot. She said, Barbara, every time I say something nice, you're talking about something that's different. So when you said that, Nina, I was like, okay, I need to do nature better.
You're a glamper. There's nothing wrong with glamping.
It's glamping. That's me. I go camping, but I have an RV.
Okay, good. Thank you. I feel better.
Glamping.
Yes.
It's glamping.
There is nothing wrong with that at all.
And they even have glamping camps that you can go to where you have air conditioning, you have Wi-Fi, you have everything, but you are in a tent, but you're out. Yeah. And but you sleep on a bed, You are in a tent.
Not on the ground. On the floor.
Yeah, there's no way.
Like platform.
I wouldn't get back up again. Let me tell you. I'll tell on myself.
I love it. But it's just certain things just aren't people's passion, right?
Not for me. Yeah.
I felt when we were talking about nature, I was like, oh boy, why did I put nature in a box?
Well, that's where the Schumann resonance comes in, because you can feel the pulse of the earth and be sitting in an easy chair in your living room.
Exactly. And there is nothing wrong with that. Even if all you do is open your window and feel the breeze come in, that is still nature. That's it.
I have no problem in that, Queen Nina, at all. I love it. Just come on in while I'm just sitting on the bed.
Right. Exactly.
We all got our levels.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
but thank you for making me feel better.
Yeah. I'm like, it's never. I grew up in Colorado. I'm a Colorado native, so I have the whole kind of like true camping experience was part of elementary school we had to do. And then I became a camp counselor. I don't know why I did that, but it was fun. I taught kids how to survive in the wilderness. I don't know if I was the best one to teach them that. However, and although it was a really great experience, and now I'm kind of just like a casual one. So any way in which you could get nature, even if it's just you're at a park, you put your feet in the grass and wiggle your toes, or you're at the beach, same thing with the sand, or you're just cruising down the street and you roll the window down. That kiss of, the wind that you feel on your face is just that moment for you to just reconnect, even if it's just 20 seconds of reconnecting, right?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me I love being next to water. So I will go by the lake in a heartbeat and just sit there and just look at the water and look at the waves and just feel the breeze, like you said. So that's me. I like that. And like you said, everybody has their thing.
Right.
I think what happened though, because I was a Girl Scout when I was growing up. And well, back in the day, Nina, you're much younger than me and Barbara. There's new things now, whereas back in the day, it was like a real tent. I mean, and real stuff that you really was living in the wilderness. Mm-hmm. And they was teaching us that. And I think that's what got me, because after that whole experience, I was like, never again, never. I mean, it left us for 4 days out there, just certain things. And I was like, are they coming back? I mean, I'm 10 years old saying, are they coming back with food? They said, no, Bob, we got to find our own food. I said, and how are we going to do that? Oh, the berries, the nuts.
Yes.
I want a ham sandwich.
Sounds like an episode of Yellow Jackets. I don't know if you've seen that, but...
I got to see that now that you're saying it. But I think that's what got me. And then I grew up just still thinking about that episode. Like, really? Yeah. But they were just trying to teach, like you said, they were trying to teach us, like you said, Nina, trying to teach how to survive, how to be out there. You never know. To not just sit there and be like, what do I do? Yeah.
No, but it changes people. There's all these little kind of milestones, right, that change people along the way. And I think that's what just gives, I think, and I'm hearing you ladies, that's what gives you pride in what you do. And that's what gives me fuel for the next one. I love it when I have people that I've either done some type of one-on-one consulting work with, or done a full-on kind of performance image and exposure consultation with them, and having those moments where, to me, it's like if I reach one, I'm satisfied with it. But then, I see people where they come back or they stay in contact with me and they're like, oh, it was this one thing that you said, or thank you so much for doing that. And that's where I'm like, oh, that's where I get my blessings and my love from. It's a pleasure to have these different avenues that all generate income. But when it comes to what my heart passion is, what my kind of purpose, I feel my heart purpose in life is really bridging that gap for people. And man, it just gives me chills when people come back and they're telling me this, they've climbed this corporate ladder or they've achieved this level of something they were working on. And I'm like, oh, that gives me just so much warmth, so much energy to move forward with. So yeah, the warm fuzzy
feeling.
The warm fuzzy.
Yeah.
We were the same thing. Yeah. Well, Nina, I see. This is one we always got to bring people back. Your family now. You have to come back. We want you to come back, and we just want to make sure they get your contact. We have your number here. You hear her; she is amazing. She's a lighthouse to the world, and you're helping so many people. And now coming together, what you're doing now, is just going to be even more. So I have to commend you, Queen. You are always welcome here, and Barbara, you did it again, as you always do. You bring the best. You bring the best.
Thank you.
So with that said, I appreciate you too, Queen. And with that said, we just want to just end it. Barbara is her her brand, Barbara.
Yeah, just wellness playroom, for the best version of you, to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. We all deserve to lead happy, healthy, debt-free, abundant lives.
Yes.
But it takes a village to raise us. I mean, never stop growing. Never stop growing. Reach out to people that are going to help you grow, whether they're different or not. It is so important, because then you do become the best version of you.
Yes. And with that, we will see you next Tuesday, same time and channel.
Yep.
And remember, like you
you
said, make happiness the norm and not the abnorm.
Yep.
See you next week.
See you next week.